This regular meeting of the Judson Board of Trustees is hereby called to order at 7 p.m. We'll take roll call. Mr. Salinas?
Present, sir, and thank you everybody for being here this evening. I'd like to recognize somebody, sir, that visiting here with us from Arlington, Texas. Say hi, Megan. Hi.
Hey, Megan. Ms. Pershaw?
Hello, thank you for being here.
Mr. Macias?
Present and welcome.
Mr. LaFoyle?
Present and accounted for.
Dr. Salinas?
Present.
I'm Steve Salyer. Thank you for coming. Dr. Montoya?
Present.
Would you all please stand for the invocation by Dr. Montoya, then I'll do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Lord, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for having had a safe and successful school year for our staff, students, and parents. And we thank you for all the gifts that you give us to make Judson ISD a great district with all its accomplishments and all the people that support it. And we ask that that continue and that we also have a pleasant, safe evening. We thank the Lord. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Please be seated. I'm very pleased that you have taken time to join us this evening. As the Judson Board of Trustees, we are here to set goals and policies and oversee the management of the district. We are responsible for approving budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and to listen to reports from the superintendent. We are not here to make administrative or management decisions pertaining to the daily operation of the district. This is the responsibility of the superintendent. In compliance with the state government code on open meetings, tonight's agenda has been appropriately posted. This is a meeting in the public, not a meeting of the public. As our guests, you are welcome to observe and listen. These proceedings are being video and audio recorded and will become part of the Judson permanent legal record. In order that the tape adequately reflects these proceedings, please silence your mobile phones and refrain from talking while others are speaking. Since it's legally mandated that these proceedings are recorded accurately, I may have to ask for order periodically should I notice that disruptions are interfering with our recording capabilities. Once again, I extend each of you a sincere thanks.
At this time, Mr. Salyer, members of the board, I'll go ahead and introduce the staff, the cabinet. To my left, Mr. Milton Fields, Executive Director of Operations, Ms. Irma Hernandez, Executive Director of Human Resources, Mr. Jose Elizondo, our Chief Financial Officer. To my right, Elida Berra, Assistant Superintendent of Secondary Education, and Nancy Robinson on her last official meeting, Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction. And I would like to introduce our new Executive Director, Ms. Tori Austin. So, thank you.
We'll now do recognitions with Mr. Lindstrom.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. President and board. Our board meetings, as you may know, are a bit more streamlined during the course of the summer. During the summer, we usually don't do too many recognitions because there's so many people that are scattered at the far ends of the earth during that time. But we do have 3 recognitions that we wanted to present this evening that we felt were very, very important. First of all, we wanted to recognize a member of the news media. The Texas Association of School Boards, or TASB, recognizes media representatives across the state for fair and balanced reporting of news about public schools. Media from print, broadcast, and online are honored by local school districts for their quality and honest work. This evening, Judson ISD wants to award the 2015 TASB Media Honor Roll Award to Jeff Flynn of the Northeast Herald. Jeff, come on up here. I guess we don't have any parents here that need to stand up for recognition, right? All right. Our next recognition comes from Judson High School. The Lady Rockets won the state girls track championship for the second year in a row, and we have our special guests who are here to honor. Our head track coach, first of all, is Renee Gerbich. And also coaches Renee Danaher, Jessica Baggett, and Nia Toru. And we also have one member of the track team who was able to be here. You know how everybody goes from one place to another. Zantori Dickerson, can you come up here? What's that?
Okay, I can see everybody. That's good. Okay. And hold it. Smile. Smile. Thank you so much.
And can we have her parents, Zantori's parents, stand just to be recognized? All right, for our final recognition involves one of our own. Judson ISD Superintendent Dr. Carl Montoya would like to present something special to one of the cabinet members who is retiring.
Again, we honor a lady that's been in the district a very, very long time, and, that's good. I'm not saying that's bad or anything. Just very briefly, she did get several degrees in the area at some universities, Trinity University. She also attended Texas Lutheran University. She's been a professor at the university preparing educators and administrators. She helped create several plans for the district and for the area, the Blueprint for Success initiatives. She developed and helped develop a principals appraisal system. And she's also been involved in numerous committees with the board, with Judson ISD, and with several universities, developing master plans, goals, assisting in creating an ELL program, strategic planning, and different things. She's very involved in doing a lot of positive things for the district and the community. She's also published several articles in education, and that's been good. She's been interviewed also by several groups on ideas and stuff. So we're very fortunate in having had her here in Judson, and we honor her. Nancy, if you'd come up here, and then we'll take our picture here. All right.
Okay, everybody, right here. Smile. Hold it. Thank you.
Okay, I don't see elected officials here tonight, so I see Mr. Merle back there, former board member. Howdy. Sonny, hi. We have one citizen to be heard tonight, Cindy Ambrose, budget and teachers. Ms. Ambrose, 3 minutes.
Hi there. I'm here because I had an opportunity to watch the board meeting y'all had on Tuesday, and I was not impressed with the behavior. It kind of reminded me back of when I used to teach in elementary and the going back and forth, and it actually made me very passionate, and I felt that I needed to come in to talk on behalf of staff and employees, because they're the ones that make Judson ISD what they are today, not the administrators. From the paraprofessionals, teachers, and auxiliary, the teachers go through a lot, and they deserve more than what you're going to approve. But the fact that someone was debating on who should get what, they are not only teachers, they're nurses, they're counselors, they're punching bags, and they have to deal with administrators who sometimes don't get along. So they, instead of dealing with the issues on campus, they pacify the teachers. I know, because I used to work for this district, and I had to go through all that. And I had a friend this past year telling me a principal threatened to throw her under the bus. Teachers shouldn't have to deal with that when they have to deal with lesson plans, behavior management, and then, behavior starts at the top. And when you got principals that act like kids, or, district staff, it's, what do you expect? Morale is down, and I know, I don't miss it. I haven't taught in 3 years, and I would never teach again with what I've heard and seen. My son is fixing to become a freshman, and he still can't write. Writing doesn't seem to be an issue, or, I'm trembling because I'm nervous. Writing doesn't seem to be something that is concerning, considering that these kids eventually go to college. What format are you using? MLA, APA? College teaches APA. My son is clueless about all that. He still writes like he's in kindergarten, and I tell him that. But I hold the teachers accountable for that, because they're not concentrating on that. When I was here, our lesson plans consisted of teaks, copy and paste onto some format, and then we had to make our own lesson plans. Every campus here has their own different lesson plans instead of being on the same page. Every campus has to deal with their own discipline plans instead of being on the same page. I saw the presentation Ms. Ross made, and it sounds good, but it shouldn't start in the middle school level, because all that starts in the bottom. When I was teaching early childhood, I had kids threatening other kids that they were going to gut them up, or they bully each other. It happens at the very bottom, and that's where it needs to start. You got school counselors, social workers, and instead of them working on social skills or counseling these kids, the administrators have them doing their job instead of the counselors doing theirs. Because I have a friend who's a counselor here, and she wishes she could counsel and do social skills. You could easily train all those staff to do what that program consists of, and then they implement into the campus instead of paying for it for one campus. Everybody would benefit from it. But I'm tired of the teachers getting beaten up. I can speak for them, because now I don't have to worry about retaliation, because that is the biggest fear from all teachers, because there is retaliation. And, school administrators, the principals and assistant principals don't like to look bad in front of their superintendents, but I can honestly say I love Dr. Montoya. Y'all did the best thing hiring him. He has by far been the most approachable superintendent that I've ever met in the years that I've been with Judson ISD as a parent and as an employee. But it starts at the bottom. Even with parents, y'all need to stop giving in to the parents and support your teachers. That's why the parents still, bully teachers, because administration lets them. And then administration throws them under the bus. You got teachers running to the media. All that can be nipped in the butt if the expectations are set from the beginning by administration. But it's hard when you got the ones up here acting like some of the parents. So that's all I have to say. You all need to appreciate your teachers, because they are the ones that make your administrators look good. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, consent items 4. I'll read them if my voice holds. If you want something pulled, just say pull. 4A, consider and take action regarding approving monthly financial information as of May 31st, 2015. B, consider and take action regarding of expenditures equal to or greater than $50,000. C, consider and take action regarding approving the submission of anticipated 2015 tax collection rates as certified by the tax assessor for the Judson Independent School District. Do I have a motion? Motion, Mr. Foyle, second, Mr. Mencius. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Okay, we'll go on to 5, discussion items. 5A, consider and take possible action regarding approving teacher principal evaluations and support system T-PESS. Dr. Montoya?
Members of the board, what the TPSS really is a new evaluation system that the agency is going to require school districts across Texas to do. It will take effect within a year, but we're asking that we be allowed, in essence, to be a part of the pilot to get ahead of the package so that we learn the process and have an extra year. But at this point, I'll turn it over to Ms. Berra, who has the more specific information.
This program, like Dr. Montoya was saying, will be in effect for the year 2016-2017. So what we've done is we've asked to be part of the pilot program with your approval so that at least our secondary principals, because we started so late, they did allow our secondary principals to go into the program. And what it does, it is a professional it helps the principals with their professional development in 5 particular areas. There are 5 standards, and each standard there's a different kind of indicator. But we're looking at instructional focus or instructional leadership, human capital, executive leadership, school culture, and strategic operations. And so those are things that all principals are involved in. And so this process will help us look at the principal at the beginning of the year, at the middle of the year, and at the end of the year, and together we come up with goals that we can check to see if we are achieving our goals periodically.
Okay, can I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Got it, Jackie? Any discussion? Any further discussion?
Yeah, I do have some questions. The current process, what is that? What are we doing currently that this will be taking place?
Currently, we have kind of like a PDOS where the principals come in and we do a yearly evaluation.
Mhm.
And they come in with their evidence of what they're doing to meet those, I think there's 10 areas that they have to address. And we sit down, we meet at the very beginning of the year, and then we meet again at the end of the year. And typically, we need to be visiting the schools throughout the year, gathering that information so that at the end of the year, we make a decision as to how effective the principal was.
And this model will permit for more frequency in
This model will
evaluating?
permit it, and it is embedded into the system that we meet with the principals at the middle of the year so that we can determine where we are in the process and whether or not they're achieving those standards.
Okay, and the cost differential between what we used to have?
Cost, free,
Free.
free.
So, and the previous mechanism we used was also free?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that's good. So, that's it. Good, thank you.
Mr. Salinas?
Dr. Montoya, may I ask Ms. Berra some questions?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Berra, we are doing the TPAS pilot 15-16 school year,
Yes.
but 16-17 is going to be for the whole state of Texas. Is that what I heard?
Yes, you are
Okay.
correct.
So
It's
in a way,
principals
we're one
and
step
teachers.
ahead of
Yes, sir,
everybody.
we are.
Okay. Thank you very much for, I don't know how you all acquired that, but thank you. That was great. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any further discussion, questions? Ms. Bashaw?
Thank you. Ms. Berra,
Yes.
I was trying to make note of the 5 standards and I only got to 3. Could you repeat them, please?
Okay, yes. Instructional leadership,
Mhm.
human capital,
Okay.
and that's hiring and maintaining teachers once we hire them, executive leadership, school culture, and strategic operations.
Okay. Thank you.
Maybe you can later send us a little memo on that, so we'll have it on record.
Yes, once, if you all approve it, we can provide you all the details, but we need to have approval from the board before we can do a community meeting and go to the district site-based as well.
Dr. Montoya. Regarding this, I just have a curious question. Do we ever discuss programs like this with our union representatives at all, our teacher input for this? I'm just kind of curious.
Mr. Macias, this is really coming from the state. It's not an option of whether or not, right now it's an option for us, if you all approve it, to pilot the program. And it's not really a choice, especially in 16-17. It will be a program that will take effect, and everyone will be evaluated, not only the principals, but the teachers as well.
Well, I know that we're doing a lot more in the state mandated that, so I like that we're ahead.
And one of the things that they have had input from the different unions in the development of the program. So they've had input before it even came to us.
Anything else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 5B, consider and take possible action regarding approving increasing student lunch prices for the 2015-2016 school year. Can I have a motion on this one?
Motion.
Mr. Foyle, Mr. Salinas. Discussion, Dr. Montoya?
Mr. Salyer, members of the board, one of the issues, obviously, in food and nutrition services is that the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which really is the main furnishing of food services and supplies to school districts, the cost is going up. The reality is that the cost is going up. I think people in the audience realize a little bit of that. If you go shopping for food, it is going up. So, we're looking at some ideas as to that, what will help us as far as the district. And Mr. Fields, if you'd like to go ahead and go from there.
Yes, sir. The way that they figure this is that we have to maintain an average minimum. The state takes the elementary price, the middle school price, and the high school price, and then they look at the month of October, average all three together, and they have to, the price that you're charging for meals has to hit the average of all three of those. And the state sets what that minimum is going to be. Now, for this year, it was 178. Next year, it's supposed to be 195. If we increase, and in an effort of just being upfront, we have a waiver for next year. But if we don't increase prices, then what's going to happen is the next year we're going to make some Herculean increases that may be too much for people to recover from, going from maybe $1.60 to $2. For some households. So if we make this increase of 25 cents at the high school level, 15 at the middle school, and 15 at the elementary, then next year we can increase a little bit less than what we would have to if we don't make any increases at all.
Any questions, discussion? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Salinas?
And this is for the record, so the parents will understand. Judson ISD is one of the very few districts that still provides free breakfast for all students. And I'm talking from pre-K all the way to 12.
Yes, sir.
So, and I think it's a big plus for our parents. Yes, we have to do this because we have no choice. Otherwise, we keep it at the same price. But we have been able to at least provide that first meal of the day, which is very, very important for a lot of our students. And I understand, and I think I asked last week the question, it has been increasing. When they first started, it was not too much participation, but as the years have gone through, it has increased. So this is a big plus for our parents, that they don't have to worry about having to provide a breakfast, because we have it at every school.
You're absolutely
Thank you
correct.
very much, and
Yes,
thank our nutritional director over there. Thank you very much for doing that for us, sir. Thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Macias?
Mr. Fields or Dr. Montoya, whoever can ask the question, does the increase just maintain what we're serving now, since there has been an increase in cost of food? Or will there be some additional items as a result of the increased fee?
I would say the quality of our food and the amounts of the food are far more than what you would see in other districts. And the price of our lunch is so much lower than the surrounding districts because we've really dragged our feet in terms of trying to increase the price. But this increase doesn't bring about a larger portion. It's just an increase to stay current with what the current state trend is. What they want us to get to is $2.70 on an average.
The waivers that you spoke about are there for our kids that may have some difficulties paying?
No, sir. The waiver that I spoke about is that we've petitioned the state over the last several years not to have to increase our lunch prices at all. And we've done that. We've kept them low. But at this point, our lunch prices are so low that we're not even hitting the state average minimum that we're supposed to in terms of a price for the lunches.
Okay, so the waivers aren't then for kids that may have some challenges with
We
the
do
price?
have the free and reduced waivers that they can fill out online, and we get governmental assistance with those.
Okay, and my last question is, in child nutrition, we've typically, we're trying to really spend the money that we have in that particular bucket. This increase would go towards that child nutrition fund, correct?
Yes, sir, it will.
And so since we've been really on target with our child nutrition dollars, I'm wondering what more the increase can do. Because I mean, currently, this year, last budget, I won't say we were struggling, but we had to make sure that we were spending everything we had. This will increase that child nutrition fund.
Yes, sir, it
So
will.
I'm anticipating then that we're going to have some good quality food from that.
And that's what we're working on strategically, increase the quality of the food that we serve to the students. So we're looking at the types of meats, the types of everything that we can to just improve the quality of that meal that we serve to the students.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Shaw?
Thank you, sir. Mr. Fields, thanks for the information. When was the last time there was a price increase? The last time Judson had one?
If you don't mind, I'd like to defer to Mr. Jones because I wasn't here, I'm sure. Mr. Jones, could you come up, please? Sure. The last time we raised the prices.
Good evening. The last time we increased prices was 2014-15. We went from $1.50 at the elementary to $1.60. And then at the secondary schools, we went up from $1.60 or $1.65 to $1.75, and then the high school went up to $2. The year before that, we did exercise our right for the waiver. But we did it based on the situation that our fund balance was in.
That was, well, I guess parents in the community really didn't have a choice in it, but was there any feedback about that?
About the price increase itself?
Yeah, I mean,
At our level, no, ma'am, we didn't receive any negative feedback in regards to the price
so
increase.
it could possibly still increase prices.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. 5C, consider and take possible action regarding increasing adult lunch prices for the 2015-2016 school year. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Foyle, Mr. Salinas, discussion? Dr. Montoya?
Again, members of the board, this is a continuation, since we're increasing the student lunch prices, we do need to do the adult lunch prices, not only because it's fair, but it's also something we need to do.
Mr. Salinas?
Thank you, Mr. Salyer. I did get a couple of phone calls just to ask when the employees go and buy the lunch, I understand they get the same amount as our students, whether it be the elementary, middle school, or high school. And the only answer I had, I think they can't not do that because of the state law, or I don't know whether Mr. Jones can answer that or not, Dr. Montoya. Is it prohibited from the teachers getting a little different plate than what the students get portion-wise.
Is it prohibited?
Mr. Jones?
If you'd like to step to the microphone, please, thank you.
Is it prohibited? No, sir.
Okay, so when our employees, teachers, go over there and they pay for an adult, would it be possible that they get maybe a little extra portion or a little bigger portion than what they're serving the students?
Well, let me answer your question first, is to say that the way that our pricing is structured is to make sure that we're covering all the expenses that we incur.
Correct.
With an adult meal, we don't receive the federal assistance as we would with a student meal. So to answer your question, could they get a larger portion? We have the ability to do that, and we're not out of compliance if we do. What we run the risk of, though, is affecting the financial situation, because it increases our food cost when we offer more.
But a lot of times you have overage on what you're serving. Is that correct? So how could that interfere with the monies that you're collecting?
The overages that we incur for the child nutrition program, we're really looking at a training issue with our staff.
I'm sorry, the overage as far as food leftovers.
And I'm sorry. Yes, sir, that's what I was speaking to. It's a training issue that we're working with our staff on currently. We don't want to throw away the food. And we're not giving it away because we're producing too much. It's just to get consistent across the board and to train our staff, looking at the historical documents that we have to be able to kind of hit that moving target that we have to hit on a daily basis. We do have some waste, just like anybody in the food service industry does, but we're doing the best that we can to minimize that.
Okay, sir, I just wanted you to be
Sure. Yes, sir.
advised of that. Thank you. If we can do it, fine. If not, no problem, sir. Thank you very
Sure.
much.
Thank you.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. We're going to go on to 6 discussion items, reports, superintendent report. Dr. Montoya,
Oh, D.
we got to go home closed session.
Yeah.
We'll go closed session.
Thank you, sir.
Again, this is an ongoing process that we share with the board, updates, and the first one, obviously, is the construction update. Mr. Fields?
Yes, sir. We still have the 3 projects that are under construction, the Evans Road High School, the water main extension, and the track over at Wagner High School. The Evans High School is about 99% complete with waterproofing. The concrete floors that are in the building have 9 steps that have to be gone through for polishing. We've completed 1 through 4, and we're about 98% complete with the water and sewer lines. And as everyone's aware, the month of May was extremely wet, and it slowed down the construction on the outside, but the interior, they were able to remain on track. But overall, we're still due for completion at the end of May, beginning of June of next year. It didn't affect that. Now, for the water main extension, we're completely finished with the installation of that. We're just 99% done. We're going over putting together the documents, and once all of that is completed, we will submit our reimbursement invoice to SAWS to get back the amount of money that they were supposed to pay towards that project. And as far as the Wagner track, this is 100% outside, and it was wet for the month of May. So although we were able to do a lot of the landscaping and get the sod and the sprinkler system in, they still were unable to paint the track so it can dry. So we're waiting for the month of June to get that done. And there's still some sod replacement that needs to be done on the football field itself. Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. President, may I ask? When you said the sauce,
Yes, sir.
I think we had to put up the money first. Right?
We did.
Was it 3 million?
Yes, sir. It was almost 3 million.
Okay,
And
almost. So
we'll get back.
half of that.
Yes, sir.
Once they reimburse us, right?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Yes,
No
sir.
further questions.
Star update, Dr. Montoya?
Mr. Salyer, members of the board, we have shared with you, and you have some information in your packet, the preliminary data for Index 1, which is student achievement for state accountability. is what we have given you to review, and typically we give that report to you folks to, as a preview to look over. The accountability official data will come out in August, and obviously will be presented to the board at that time. We have also included a memo that explains the different levels, each categories, which are called indexes, 1, 2, 3, 4, student achievement, student progress, closing achievement gaps, and post-secondary readiness. The final information for officially calculating Index 2 and Index 3 will arrive later this summer, and obviously we'll share that. Index 4 did come in today, but our data people are looking at it. And at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Robinson for any other comments, and then obviously for questions.
Yes, it's very preliminary raw data that we hand calculate, so, you know, you hate to do a formal presentation and parents say, well, that's not what they said when the real data comes in. But I wanted to give you all some idea of where we were. I guess my few statements is on the passing rate at level 1, which is the students passed. We went up on every test at every single grade level except 5th grade science. We had a little bit of a drop in the principals, as they've been meeting for their evaluations, are all working on a plan, as well as the curriculum department. They've been meeting for a month, taking the data apart and looking at what we need to do to shore that up. But this is pretty exciting. At level 3, that's also in your report, that's advanced. And that means the kids had to pass at a college ready. And you can see we went up in almost every single index there. We stayed the same in 5th grade science, and we stayed the same in 4th grade writing. Everything went up advanced, and then we dropped 1 point in 8th grade social studies on advanced. So I talked to my colleagues in other districts. We're doing very well in that advanced piece here in Bexar County. So I'm really glad. I mean, I'm happy the teachers absolutely have worked very hard to be aligned and to make this happen. So when all the data does come and we get the cut and we get all the official scores, they'll do a full accountability for you and go through each index. So just good job, teachers and administrators here in Judson.
Mr. Salinas.
Just one question.
Sure.
By July or August, we'll get a report where it includes all the schools, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Going to be update 101, first reading. Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Salinas, go ahead.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. I do agree that the principals and the teachers are doing an excellent job. Is there any way we could speak to the passing standards, so because it's supposed to change next year, just so that everyone on the board is aware? I don't want for the passing standard to go up and then for it to appear that the scores are going down. Yes. For example, biology is at 94%, but that's at a 35% passing standard. And
correct.
So if we could speak to that, or at least get us
there's actually two things, and I have a form that really lays it out per test, because what it shows is two things. There's actually two different things. There's a passing rate, but then there's the number of questions you have to get right to get that passage rate, and they play with both. So as you go up in, just so to make your point, as you go up in the grades, the passage standard gets less and less. So at high school, you have to, at high school, you answer less questions than you do at elementary. At elementary, and I don't want to misquote, but you had to get like 58%. By high school, you only needed to get about 30 questions correct in order to hit that passage standard. So the passage standard does go up, and so does the number of questions next year. And so the challenge continues. You can't ever, it's like a bike. If you start pedaling, it will fall down. So you have to keep pedaling and moving forward. I'd rather include that form for you all, because it would let anybody see across. It also has the year after next, unless the state changes it, so that you can kind of see the phase in for this. The reason they did that is they can't have kids not graduating. So it's toughest at elementary, a little harder, a little less at middle, and the least at high school for number of questions.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Ms. Shaw? Good.
Yeah, it didn't light up.
Okay. Ms. Robinson, parents know about that passing standard?
I believe so, but here's the truth of it. When you communicate at meetings or you send things home, not everybody reads, not everybody comes. So you can't ever over-communicate. So I think, her point's correct. Everybody needs to understand here. 2 years ago, when this all became new, or maybe it was 3 at this rate, I'm old, can't remember. 2 or 3 years ago, we actually went to churches and everything to really try and capture the most of our community that we could. We were lucky. We're given Wednesday nights to address the congregation, and it was hardcore. But they filled it. They were we had lots of, every school also had meetings, so we tried to blitz the community. It is online, but I do believe that needs to happen again, because the state kept the passage standing this year, and next year it does go up.
So, because it will change, and as this test is utilized more, and the kids get the hang of it, parents get the hang of it, maybe,
it's a little harder test to get the hang of than the old one. Yes.
Because of that.
Yes.
Maybe going back to having some kind of
Community.
town hall type of situation.
Yeah. Highly recommend. You cannot over-communicate. You just cannot. So any venue that you can do, I'll share the form with you. It would have to be made a little more user-friendly, I think, maybe for the community, but something along those lines, I think, would be a good idea.
Ms. Robinson, thank you for all you've done for us all these years. Thank you. I know you're turning it over to a very well-qualified person, but you are going to be missed. Thank you.
Mr. Salinas?
We have not had very good luck when we have community meetings, as you're aware. But I think it would be great, once all the data is in, I think for each school, when they have their first PTA or PTO, whatever, I think that would be the best time. And maybe board members and superintendent and cabinet could attend those meetings. I think it would be more effective than to do a town hall meeting. Thank you, Ms. Robinson, for all these years, and I think I can work with your mom, she rest. And thank you very much, ma'am.
This would probably be a good article for Mr. Flynn in the fall. Thanks. Anything else? Anyone else? Okay, we're going to 5B. 5, go to B, Update 101, first reading. I'm just going to read them. 1, BE local board meetings. B2, CH local purchasing and acquisition. B3, DGBA local personal management relations, employee complaints, grievances. I just want to point out that the one thing was requested by the administration to go from 7 days to 10 days for answers. So this is first reading. If anybody has any comments on that, bring it. B4, EB local school year. 5B, FFG local student welfare, child abuse, neglect. B6, FMG local student activities, travel. B7, FNG local student rights and responsibilities, student and parent complaints and grievances. B8, GBAA local information access, requests for information. B9, GF local public complaints. B10, GKB local community relations, advertising and fundraising in schools. And we'll go to C, update on statement of impact amendments. Dr. Montoya, that's just the charter school stuff. We don't have to vote on that, okay? I think everybody knows how we feel, right, Mr. Salinas?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
They won't let us vote.
I know, they'll let us vote on that. Okay, D, update on board training, conferences, events, consider future agenda items. Mr. Salinas, anything, sir?
Yes, sir. I said myself and 2 other new board members attended the SLI conference, and I attest that they were in all their conferences because they were required. They did a wonderful job. Thank you, Ms. Michelle and Dr. Salinas. Then we also, I think you and I attended one. Which one was it a couple of days ago that we attended? There was another one that we attended here or something. I forgot. But if I remember, so I'll come back. Sorry.
Ms. Shaw, anything?
It was great, and we checked in with Mr. Salinas.
He was-
Very nice.
Mr. Macias, anything, sir?
No, I will say that I kind of crashed the party a little bit for the TASB. I didn't register, but I did learn something extremely profound at the conference, that this board has 2 Judson graduates, and that's Dr. Salinas and Renee Pichelle. So I thought that was pretty cool. Just one of those FYIs, did you know?
Mr. LaFoille?
The football camp was a great success as always, and so was the golf tournament. It's great things put on by the Education Foundation, who's helped supporting all our teachers and the kids.
Dr. Salinas?
I'm good.
Good?
I'm
good
good.
too. Okay, next meeting will be Tuesday, Jackie, and we're gonna hit at 6:30 for the pre-hearing for the budget. Okay, good. Okay.
6:30 public hearing.
6:30 public hearing for the budget.
Voting right after at the regular.
Right. Budget. Right. Okay. Got it. Okay, we're going to go into closed session. The board will now adjourn into closed session pursuant to the following section of the Texas Open Meeting Act, pursuant Government Code Section 551.074, discussing personnel. We're adjourned at 7:46. All right, that's hard to believe.